So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 15 Plus versus the 13 Pro Max speed test. Let's go ahead and begin with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, the iPhone 15 Plus, I did do a comparison on which to buy. If you want to check that out, you could kind of get these phones because the 13 Pro Max is now used at close to the same price as well. The 15 Plus most of the time is more. You can get a 13 Pro Max cheaper used. Sometimes with the storages, they can come kind of close. So it's kind of a question which to buy. And you've seen that the iPhone 15 Plus did boot up faster than that of the 13 Pro Max. Okay, so both of these do have Face ID. So if we go ahead and take a look here, they're both going to unlock at the same time. Now, they do have a different notch. One has a dynamic island and the other doesn't, but the swiping looks slightly smoother on the iPhone 13 Pro Max due to its ProMotion. So I don't know if you could see it, but when you swipe in, it's just a hair better animation for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, both of these are running 17.4.1, which hopefully they're not running it too much longer, as that is kind of getting up there. So I think we're gonna see 17.5 like next week when the iPads launch. But for now, for this video, we're still on the 17.4.1, and then we'll confirm it over here, 17.4.1. Now, generally, you'll see 6 gigs of RAM on both, A16 Bionic on the left at 3.46 gigahertz, A15 Bionic on the right. Generally, scrolling through and navigating through iOS here seems to be about the same until you look a little closer. The 13 Pro Max, even being an older phone, the scroll is just so much more pleasing to look at. So personally, I still really love the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and it's one of the best used iPhone options on the market today. When you go ahead and scroll through here, you'll just see buttery smooth on the 13 Pro Max. It's smooth on the 15 Plus, but I wouldn't say buttery smooth. It's just smooth. So there you go. That's kind of how they generally perform. You see in the software. Let's get into the app test. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and show you everything is closed out. Let's begin with calendar. And you can see, I think that was quicker on the right. I could be wrong. Let's go into calculator. Identical. Looks like we got a little smudge down here on my iPhone 13 Pro Max. Had to wipe that off. I'm a little bit OCD about that. Are you OCD about cleaning your screen? Let me know down below. Let's hit stopwatch, world clock, alarm. So even though this has the A16, let's see if it really makes a difference. That's faster on the left, a little bit faster on the left. In the games, will it make, oh, I missed that one. Will it make a difference in the games? It could be because of these screen protectors. Let me go ahead and close out App Store on here. We'll go into App Store. Yeah, it was a hair quicker on the iPhone 15 Plus. Let's go ahead and click into sub menu. There we go. Head up out of here. Games. Yeah, a little bit snappier on the left there. Once again, a little snappier there on the left. We'll swipe out. All right, guys, so let's head into Groupon here. And you'll see, was that like, it's looking to me like the left is loading just a sliver faster, if you will, faster on the left. Let's go into profile. And man, people, I've been telling them for months now, like, I'm looking through a camera, I'm trying to monitor the audio here. If I call one wrong, I call one wrong. Don't take it too seriously. And be like, he said this and that, and this is what it was, and this is what it was. Okay, I got you. You could see, I think that was faster on the left by a little bit. Let's go into eBay. And you'll see faster on the left. So the game's popping open quicker on the 15 Plus. Starbucks. But what would you trade? A little bit faster CPU or a smoother experience with ProMotion? Which one would you pick in that scenario? And it looks like we have the iPhone 15 Plus loading this faster than the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So we're about to play Temple Run first here, just by a sliver. Yep, just by a sliver. Hey, a win's a win, like Vin Diesel said in Fast and the Furious. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's win. All right, so let's head into Subway Surfers here now and see which one can pop this open quicker. Looks like the 15 Plus taking it by another inch. So we're seeing an inch quicker here, or a hair or a sliver or minute amount, just really small amount, but still pulling ahead. Let's go into Dead Trigger 2. But again, I mean, I don't know. I think I would take the promotion, even with the like little bit faster CPU. And maybe, I just think if it was between these two, I probably would go 13 Pro Max Jetpack. It's just tough because you do like the fact that you get the dynamic island, but you kind of got to make that sacrifice. This one faster to the right. You do got to make that sacrifice though to give up. If you're going to decide between these two, you're giving up the newer dynamic island features. I really don't like how Apple does that. They just like make the phone like sacrifice a little, so you have to go to the freaking like Pro Max. It's like if you're trying to save, like it's kind of annoying. Can we please just get at least a 90 hertz, bro? Like they don't, like the Android competitors aren't doing that. Same with this new iPad Pro. You got to pay $2,000 to get a nano texture display. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the Genshin Impact, I'm gonna have to do this separately because let's go ahead and time it, by the way. Because it doesn't allow me to open on both phones because of the same account. Let's go into Genshin Impact and see how long this takes here. And I'll try my best to be as accurate as possible here. This game takes a while, by the way, to load. That's why I wanted to include it in here. So let's hit start game. And then we're gonna go ahead and have to wait for it to prepare load data. And then over here, we'll have to hit tap to begin. And we're gonna go ahead and wait for this. We'll hit this. And once we get into the screen, see, Genshin is one of the longer load games. And we're in. So about 35 seconds. So that's what we gotta beat here on the 13 Pro Max. So I actually have to close it, I believe, here. And we're gonna go ahead and open it here now on the 15 Plus. Let's go in 3, 2, go. And see how long it takes. I said 15 Plus, 13 Pro Max. We got to open on here now. And let's see how long it takes to get in. So it's going to be the same affair. We're trying to beat 35 seconds. So far, not looking like it's going to happen. So we're almost at 20 seconds and we're just preparing data here for the 13 Pro Max. And let's go ahead and tap to begin. And we got to hit this login. Okay, maybe. Let's see. Rocking pretty close here. Yeah, about 30, almost 36. What was it on the, did I save the iPhone one? What was it there? Okay, so a little bit slower. You can see that difference was probably a difference between my finger. Almost identical to load the Genshin, and that's an older game. Or not an older game, but it's an older CPU running a newer game. So let's go ahead and open PUBG now. So even though we had to time it, we still got around the same time on both of them within that 35-second range. And let's see, we could see the 15 Plus loading this first here on the left, doing a pretty good job. And here comes the 13 Pro Max. I almost feel like the 15 Plus is kind of like a 14 Pro Max toned down. Yeah, that was a little faster. We're not even going to start the match. I hit start, but starting the match is network dependent. If the match, other people get in the match, so it's not really going to be a fair test. This one was the same thing where it was connected to 2 different devices, so they're not letting me load that one. Let's go into 3D Mark. And you can see Wildlife Extreme, Geekbench 6, about the same. Speed test. Okay, a little faster on the left. InShot. Faster on the left by a hair. This whole test, let's go into iMovie. A little quicker. That was probably a pop-up. You know what? Let me do that again because I don't like that pop-up messing with my app test. Let's go into iMovie. Yeah, about the same. So what I can conclude here is that you're getting a hair quicker performance with the A16 Bionic, but you're getting a smoother feel with the 120 hertz. So the games could look smoother and feel smoother on the 13 Pro Max, but the apps and things will load a little faster on the 15 Plus. So you got to decide there what's more important to you. All right, so let's do some RAM management here and see which one can do this faster or better. I kind of notice like the choppier look when I'm doing this on the 60 hertz panel here. It's just a little bit more noticeable. We're not actually going to do Genshin because we would have to reload the entire game. And you could see right there, there's Jetpack, Dead Trigger, and then we have Temple Run, That's a reload there. That's very weird. Starbucks was acting up there a little bit. We got Amazon, Instagram. X was reloading the feed, but nothing like crazy. We're going to App Store here, and weather. It just has that little bit less of a smooth look than the Pro Maxes do. All right, so let's take a look at the 13 Pro Max now. Man, it looks so much nicer. I'm not gonna lie. It looks so much nicer. We're gonna skip Genshin on this one. We'll go Jetpack. Yeah, it's night and day, man. Promotion, Subway Surfers reloads, Temple Run reloads. That's 2 reloads already. So that might be a L for the 13 Pro Max here. Reload on App Store. So the reloads, there was a couple more here on the 13 Pro Max, but we also had a much smoother look going in between those apps. So just like with the app test on the reloads, a little bit smoother or a little bit better RAM management on the 15 Plus. So here's the Geekbench 6 results. You can see about a 2555 on a single, and then we have a 2357 on the right, and then a 6392 on the left, and a 5868 on the right. So you can see just a small difference there, maybe about 10, 15, 20% ish. It's pretty small, you know, it's not a major difference, but it would kind of indicate kind of what we were seeing in the app test though. So those are the kind of the Geekbench scores you can expect. All right, so we're also going to do a Wildlife Extreme test. So we'll let these run. We'll check the frame rates, the graphics. When they're done, I'll be back with the results. All right, so the 15 Plus actually finished the test faster when it comes to the 3D Mark, which is another indication of a little bit better performance. Man, is it quite toasty though. Almost uncomfortable actually. 2891, 17.3 FPS. We scroll down, this is scoring better than 65% of devices, so definitely not the most powerful phone on the market. But you can take a look here. Our average frame rates are ranging between 11 and 22, and as you see, the test goes on. I don't know if Apple's throttling or if the phone was just getting too hot, but you can see it's starting to dip towards the end of the test. So definitely, you know, depending on how heavy you use it, it could be performing great and then slow down a little bit potentially if you're using something heavy. I noticed a little bit less heat here on the 13 Pro Max, and it's probably because the stainless steel body here, but you'll see it did the same thing, ranging between 10 and 22 FPS, so only a 1 FPS difference. On the frame rates, it's only a 1 FPS difference as well, with an overall score of 2680. And now you can see this score is better than 58% of devices, or 7% less than the 15 Plus. And so you can see why people still totally recommend the 13 Pro Max. The phone is a pro level phone, triple camera, stainless steel body, and it's still beautiful, and it performs as well, if not better, for certain people in certain areas than a 15 Plus. But if you're still trying to decide which one to buy, I did do a video comparison on these. I'll leave it linked down below. All right, so let's see which one can pull in the better Wi-Fi speeds. Of course, it's going to be network dependent. If you have blazing fast Wi-Fi, it might be faster than my scores. It might be slower depending on what Wi-Fi you're using, but we're pulling in near 500 on the download. Actually over now 500, and I got the 13 Pro Max out of frame. I'm putting the same server. You could see 516 and then pulling in around a 22 on the upload here. 23. Are we going to crack 24? Does not look like we're cracking 24. Hold on, let's go ahead and run now. We're going to run this one right here on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So we're trying to beat a 516. And I always feel like when I'm doing this part, 452, I feel like I'm one of those people at the auction place. Going once, going twice. Sold for 452 down. Nah, I'm messing with you. But you could see right here, 23.6 FPS. Yeah, about the same. So a little bit slower on the download, but nothing major. Let me go ahead and bring in my 4GT right here, and we're going to go ahead and launch these cameras because I want to see which can actually pop the camera open faster. We do have 3 cameras on the right, but you can crop in on the 15 Plus. That was on video, so let me go ahead and reopen that. Let's go ahead and reopen that. 3, 2, go. And we'll do it again. 3, 2, go. Not a major difference. That macro does create a little bit of a difference depending on if you're in the macro area. We'll hit the 2x and then we'll back it out wide. 2x on the left, 3x on the right, a 15 times zoom, a 10 times zoom. So you get more zoom on the 13 Pro Max, and you get yourself a macro mode as well. So there are benefits to that camera. There's benefits to, well, both have really great battery life, but there's benefits to the ProMotion. So it's a little bit of a tough choice. At the end of the day, I do think in terms of sheer performance, the 15 Plus is a hair quicker, but the 13 Pro Max over here is still performing incredibly well, near that of a 15. Not quite, but near that, and it has ProMotion still. So let me know which one you would pick down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you're still having troubles deciding, leave your questions, comments, concerns down below. If this is the debacle you're in right now, trying to decide between these two, a lot of people will help you in the comments section. Now catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.